deals to fill out the venues. One report alleged that he only sold 500 tickets to a venue that holds 14,000 people, and he claims to have lost $30 million because of the controversy.
Like what were the L's?
A week or two after, $30 million that I would have had before the ball dropped 2021. So this happened rolling out with July. I had $30 million worth of shows on the schedule before December 31st.
All he had to say was, put your hands in the air if you just don't care, and all of this could have been avoided. But if you think what DaBaby said was bad, you'll be horrified by what CeeLo Green said in a series of questionable tweets. If you don't remember the name CeeLo Green or his previous duo Gnarls Barkley, you definitely remember his two most iconic songs, Crazy and Forget You. Crazy peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and spent 29 weeks on the chart. Forget You, which he released solo 4 years later, also went number 2 on the Hot 100 after spending almost a full year on the charts. CeeLo had a very unique voice and was undeniably talented. He pretty much only gave us 2 hits, but was an ever-present pop culture figure throughout the early 2010s. Whether he was hosting an award show, his own reality show, voice acting, or being a judge on The Voice, CeeLo was loved and appreciated, until some shocking allegations arose. CeeLo was accused by a 33-year-old woman he dined with at a downtown Los Angeles sushi restaurant of placing ecstasy, also known as MDMA or Molly, in her drink. The woman later told Los Angeles police detectives she woke up naked in bed in her hotel room with Green. CeeLo allegedly admitted to law enforcement that he took ecstasy, but denied drugging the woman's drink or committing sexual assault. CeeLo's sexual assault charges were dropped after prosecutors concluded there wasn't enough evidence to take that accusation to court, but he was found guilty on drug charges, which landed him 3 years probation. But it wasn't the nature of the charges that ruined his career, it's what he said on Twitter after the case. After being criticized by people in public tweets, he decided to respond. Women who have really been R-worded, remember, but point taken. So if I tried but did not succeed, but the person said I did, then what really happened? When someone breaks in a home, there is broken glass. Where is your plausible proof anyone was R-worded? If someone passed out, they're not even with you consciously, so with implies consent. It's hard to see what point he was trying to make here, but the blogs were not holding back. CeeLo, it's not rape if you forget. CeeLo Green, it isn't rape if the victim is unconscious. After these tweets, his reputation was destroyed. He lost all of his live performance bookings, he quit The Voice to avoid being fired, his TV show was canceled, and he basically disappeared from the pop culture zeitgeist, pretty much surviving off royalties and small film roles here and there. But I guess him and I are friends now?
Yo, Pat, what's up, man? I'm assuming that your friends call you Pat.
My friends do call me Pat, so...
And I consider myself to be one of your friends.
The next person on our list lost her career from something that was totally out of her control. In fact, it may have even been a setup. Janet Jackson is a woman who needs no introduction. She is the youngest of the 9 iconic Jackson family siblings. Although she was not a part of the original Jackson 5, she would go on to have a massive solo music career. Jackson signed the first of 2 record-breaking multi-million-dollar contracts with Virgin Records, establishing her as one of the highest-paid artists in the industry. She was named by Billboard magazine in the 90s as the second most successful recording artist of the decade in the United States after Mariah Carey. Over 100 million records sold, 10 Billboard #1 songs, 27 top 10 hits. She is easily the most successful artist on this list, which is why her downfall is even more tragic. The Super Bowl in America is always the most watched televised program every year, with an average of around 100 million people watching the game. The halftime show has historically been a major milestone in an artist's career, as it is the biggest stage they will likely ever be on. In 2004, Janet Jackson was asked to do the show, but not by herself, which was surprising since she easily had enough hits to do a full set. Instead, she only got to perform 2 of her songs. The other time was filled out by Justin Timberlake, Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, and Jessica Simpson. The very last song of the performance was Justin's hit song, Rock Your Body, in which Janet assisted him. The two met at the center of the stage to pose for the grand finale. Justin reaches across Janet's body and pulls off the chest piece of her costume, exposing her breast to 90 million people. The wardrobe malfunction is considered the biggest controversy in televised history. This incident was actually the inspiration for YouTube because of the difficulty finding footage to rewatch online. Now, to some degree, this was planned. Justin's intention was to pull the leather piece off her chest and expose the red underneath, but he ripped too much. In the split second the camera was on Janet, you can see her look down in shock. She tried to cover herself while Timberlake stood holding the ripped pieces of her costume and bra. The FCC received more than 500,000 complaints after the performance. CBS was fined $550,000, and the halftime sponsor AOL demanded a return of the $10 million advertising cost they paid to the NFL. Justin apologized, MTV apologized, Janet apologized, even though she later regretted it because it was an accident. The media went into an all-out frenzy. The FCC investigated the halftime show to see if this was a planned media stunt meant to shock the world, citing that because she was wearing a nipple covering, that was